Hi, I'm Tom Grafeo with DovEnvision Research and Management, and today I thought I'd take a few minutes to introduce you to one of our great systems that we have to help you out. It's called DovEnvision. DovEnvision is a comprehensive software program that we value very much and really encourage all of our clients to use, which brings all of your different various accounts, information, and everything into one place. And in that one place, it helps us build a picture of your circumstance and integrate your goals and where you want to go, and then together we can help bridge that gap from where you are to where you want to be. DovEnvision is powered by some of the most powerful software out there. I've done a lot of research and I'm looking for different things and different types of software to do it. This is something that I value very much and I think it's great. The way you access this software as a client is you go to the Dove homepage. And then once you're on the Dove homepage, you click in the upper right-hand corner and it'll take you to client login. Here you'll see two potential login places, or maybe more eventually, but right now there's two different places you can log in, and it says DovEnvision. Just touch the DovEnvision, click on the DovEnvision, and there you go. And then you sign in, and here you go to a client overview. Now DovEnvision is great. This is what I actually see on my side, right? So DovEnvision, when I look at your client, you as a client, this is what I see. This is your picture. This is actually a sample. We don't actually have Frank and Joanna. This is a sample data. So some of the things will be live and some of the things won't be live. But this is a sample data that we have installed for you. This is what I see, and what I like about this is it gives me a great picture overall of what to look at. I can see how many equities or stocks, taxable bonds, municipal bonds or tax-exempt bonds on the right-hand side, cash and other investments. And then we can also see a breakdown of all the accounts and where everything's at. You can see here all the different assets under management, assets that are not held. It doesn't matter if you have the investments with us or outside. Let's say it's a current 401k. You can have cash at Vanguard or a 529 plan that we can't hold on to, or a 403b plan or something like that. We can actually have that still reported into your system so you see everything in one place, even though it's not necessarily held with us directly. So it does give you an overall aggregate here in the net worth on the upper left-hand side, and then you can see the investment breakdown here. What I like as your advisor to do very quickly is I touch on the asset allocation page, and it takes me right to the reports that can quickly give me where the assets are broken down to and how much in different things. It also then breaks it down by account here, and you can see it says Joanna's joint investment account, how much is in large growth, how much is in large value, blend across total amounts. And it's a great resource for quickly allowing me to really get a good picture of where your strategic risks are and where they are not, where you're allocated and where you may need to be allocated. So also from here, we can start, for me on my side, just to let you know all the analytics. I mean, every one of these areas is another report I can run just like that. It comes up so quickly and so nicely. So if we look at stocks by sector, just as an example, you can break down the different stocks and where they're held and how they're held. And this is stuff that I would look at: consumer cyclicals, communications, industrials. It breaks it down for me because it dives into your holdings and knows what each mutual fund owns and everything owns, and so it actually goes very deep and letting me know if you have, what I'm looking for is if you have a big exposure to something because it's held in many accounts or across different areas. Really important to know where your risks are, and particularly in this kind of more volatile times across the world. So these are all the various reports, and I look at these on your behalf and then manage them across areas. Also, one of the things that I'm always interested in is the account history. And you can see it shows values at different times. Here, this one is a 529 plan that's not going in the right direction, so we talk about that. But you can go across and look at different accounts and the history and what the values were at different times and break it down for different time frames. Really wonderful things. Now these are things that I look at, and there's a lot more that I can dive into on this side. Let me say the two things that I would want to say very importantly at this point. First of all, I can't see any of your personal transactions, so if you link a checking account or if you link something else into that, all your personal stuff, where you spend your money on a day-to-day basis and how much you spend at Ralph's or Target or different things, not my business and not the system's business, and it doesn't pick it up. You'll be able to see it, I won't. And I think that's really important, that you'll be able to see spending breakdown and some analytics on that side. As your advisor, I don't get access to it. That's one thing. So you do have privacy. I believe very firmly in privacy, and I think people my age and older do. I'm not, so that's one thing I definitely want to say. The other thing that may even be more important than all of this is security. Security is the utmost importance in today's very digital, very connected world. The digital security on this is of the highest caliber across the board. The backbone of this system, the whole backbone of this system is actually owned by Fidelity Investments. Fidelity recently bought it in the last year, and they have added so much security, integration, technology. They've invested huge amounts of money, and I'm very satisfied with the technology. It's also been vetted by LPL and other broker-dealers. It's one of the most popular ones out there, so whether it's this broker-dealer, that broker-dealer, it's been vetted. I like it because of the resources and what it does for my clients and how we can communicate around it, but ultimately none of that would matter if it wasn't secure. And I can tell you in the highest order that, to the extent that anything can be insecure in today's world, this is secure. And one of the things that I like very much about this software also is it allows me to go to your client website. Again, not your personal data per se, but let me show you what you'll see when you log on as a client with Dove Investment Research and Management. This is actually your screen and what you would see. And it looks same elements, right? You see some of the same elements here. You can see the various accounts on the left-hand side. We can integrate, look at what we can put in here. It tells you how much cash, how many investments, what your credit card balance is. Look, honestly, I don't know what you're spending your money on, but if I see a negative $40,000 here, that may be a reason for a conversation, right, about how things are going overall. Unless you did buy a new car or something and one of the Hawaii points or the travel points, right? Investments, life insurance, key part of how this all works together. Loans, mortgage loans, managing debt is just as important as managing assets, understanding that how that all works together. So, and then overall property, and then if you have stock options, for those of you who have stock options, we put those options in here. This has been a great tool for those folks. I've worked with people with Boeing stock options. When Boeing was at $30 a share, not expecting it to go to $250 a share. There was a time not too long ago, Boeing was at $34 a share, and boy, that stock option turned out to be just a very valuable tool in managing that for clients. Overall net worth, I can click on this net worth tab and should be able to get some different breakdowns on it, and also on the investments. Let's just jump over instead to this side because there's many ways to access it. Let's take a look at Frank's 401k. Great place. For a lot of people, their 401k is one of the most biggest and largest investments that they have. Here's some basic information about it. Again, Frank's hypothetical, so we can't offend Frank too much. But we break down then the investments across the top, and then you can see the total investment amount, and then again, accounts across the board. And then what I like to do is jump in here, go to Frank's, and there's a history, a balance history. Okay, it's make-believe data, so it's not perfect. Cash, $2,000, holdings $438,000, great. But also, it shows the allocation. Right? Why is this important? Well, let's say it is held at Boeing, and let's it's at any 401k shop that you have, right? Your company 401k. What you're doing there matters what I'm doing over here, right? How we work this all together. So what this does is allows me, without getting too far down, it allows me to look at what you have already, what I want to do for you, and what your overall allocation should be, and balance back and forth what's happening at your 401k, what's happening here with my side, so that together, collectively, it's hitting the targets that it needs to hit, and it's doing what it should be doing. So I can see the different allocation. I can get, again, if this was real data, I'd see some analysis, and it would be able to give me time periods, 3 months, 6 months, 1 year, lifetime, which is great. And then also, if there were transactions, let's say you were contributing on a regular basis, I would see the contributions if this was real data. So the summary is great, but also the allocation, probably the most important part of it, more so than anything else. But it allows me to draw some really great conclusions and some integrations on what I need to do on my side. So that's the story on what this is doing on this side. Let's go back to the home page for the client. And you can see it's got our logo on it, and we're back here to Frank and Joanna. On the investment account, on life insurance also, there's a whole life policy that is here. We can enter the information, the death benefits, but we can also do some really good things with this as far as putting in who the beneficiaries are, where the policy is. Inside the system also is a private vault. You can upload things that you do want to share with me. Clients did it today on some things that they wanted us to take care of for them, and then there's other things that they don't want us to see. They keep those private, and then we can. It's a great thing to have this vault, and it shows you all the different things. So there's nothing uploaded here on the sample data, but it is kind of a cloud-based, highly secure place where we can share documents back and forth if we need to. Great place to put another copy of your trust, right? If you're traveling and want to get access to it or need access to it for healthcare reasons or something like that, great place to have it. You can call us anywhere in the world and we can say, hey, here it is, or we can forward it for you on your behalf. It's a really great thing to be able to do. And then ultimately, the reports that we can run off of this are just really powerful. Here's a balance sheet. I mean, if you really want to know where you stand on any given day, balance sheet kind of does the best thing you can, right? So balance sheet kind of breaks it down, what all the accounts are. This data is updated every single day automatically in the background for you. And it's actually sometimes more accurate than some of the other systems we have, which is great because it does come with one of the best feeds out there. But we have balance sheets, and then if you want to go back in time, you can go from the first of the year, retirement years, we can pick years, we can even project going forward using different rates. So balance sheet is always a really interesting one. Assets, cash flow. Cash flow as a financial planner is critical because that's how I build your future, is on cash flow. Now, Frank and Joanna have a problem. See this shark fin right here? That's like a key indicator that there's a problem in their retirement. And what happens is you look, and this is one of the key things when I'm building a financial plan, I am always concerned to see the shark fin because besides I'm not in the water and would worry about it seeing in the water as your financial planner, I'm definitely worried about it in your financial life. Because the problem is green is income and red is outflows, and you can see that they're kind of matched during the working years, but as soon as retirement hits, expenses stay high and climb, the red line, and the income is kind of moderate and there's a huge gap. Well, that gap is filled by their investments and savings accounts and other things, and that's why it kind of corresponds at retirement here, this line, you see it where it says retirement. As soon as they hit retirement, they start spending their assets down and going down. There's a problem here we need to address and we need to talk about. So it's the old thing, you either have a spending problem or an income problem. Well, in this case, I would talk to Frank and Joanna, talk about what their plans are, and then we would model it in the software and look for different solutions working together, eyeball to eyeball, or even remotely with this software and technology, that we can now find ways to kind of change the trajectory of this. Maybe it comes down that they work a little longer, push retirement out, change the expenses. Maybe there's an inheritance that isn't played into this account or this scenario yet, and saying, okay, by 2035, mom might be, or dad might be 105 years old, unlikely to be around, but there's another 500 to a million or whatever the number is coming in, and that would change the trajectory of this. All this can be modeled in here and changed in here, and then we can see in live time, in real time, how that affects everything. Building a plan and getting the closest modeling to it that we can is super important, because that gives us confidence to be able to move forward. And then being able to adjust it in real time as things in your life change is just really wonderfully important and just such a great thing. So you can actually break it down where income comes from, any other planned income, expenses. We can break this all down. Let me just show you what income looks like for Frank and Joanne. In this case, we break down just the income report here, and you can see, if I scroll a little bit better, Frank's earnings $300,000 a year. Nice job, Frank. Growing expectedly through retirement at in 2028 when he's 64 years old, growing to about $450,000, $448,000. Joanne's part-time jobs going from $50,000 to $74,000 for great total income, right? But as soon as retirement comes in, Joanne's hospital pension kicks in at $12,000 a year and grows from there. Social Security for both of them kicks in here, and so their income drops from $500,000 a year to about $66,000 a year starting off there, and that's where the gap is because we didn't change any expenses or they didn't change their lifestyle. So these are things, again, like we were talking about, but we break down, this is where the income starts off at, and then we can go back and look at all different levels of things. So we can break down income, Social Security. We put all these different factors in here to build and model your future and then try and make it as accurate as possible. And this has been a wonderful tool for working with clients. And then one of the great technologies built into this is that we can both log on together. We can both see it if you're somewhere else and can't get into the office, or we need to make an immediate adjustment or see what something would happen in real time. This would be something that we would be able to do remotely together, see it in real time. We talk about it, do a conference call, see the results on both sides of our equation at the same time. So DovEnvision is a fantastic software program that can really help you model your future and see the different things. As a summary, what I would say is it really integrates your personal life, your income, your expenses, taxes. It very much takes taxes into account, savings and all the different contributions you're making to your 401k. That really works out quite well. It's a very powerful financial planning tool that allows us to be able to model your current situation and any expected things. We can also, if there's I wouldn't say unexpected, but there's put different date of deaths for different people in this scenario and see how that affects income and Social Security and see how that affects the future. I mean, that's the most traumatic thing in the world, or how a future property might sell. All these different things that we can model in. So it really does take a comprehensive view of what's going on, and it's a really user-friendly interface. If I can be talking to you, holding this thing and doing this whole thing, it's really a really quite convenient user interface. It's been redesigned here in the last few months, and I gotta say it's a lot cleaner looking, a lot better looking, and it's still very powerful for what we're trying to achieve for this. So until we find a better software, I'm gonna be using this. I'm very much a believer in the DovEnvision software. It's powered by Fidelity Investments and EMX, but we use it because what we think is, and the reason we call it DovEnvision is because when we think about this software, we're trying to envision your future. We're trying to help you envision your future. So many of the great clients I get to work with have a future that they want to do something with, where they want to serve others or do something else and move forward in their life and being able to take the next steps in their life. This software is designed to help clients envision that future and put it together and build it together. So this is why I'm so passionate about this software and about how I use it every day, and it's like a core component of what we do. I'd be happy to help you build a software system for yourself and around this to help you pull this together, build your financial plan, and show you how DovEnvision can help you vision your future as well. Thank you for your time. Of course, I can't go through everything about this, and in this short demonstration. And there are, of course, no guarantees of performance, things happening exactly as we expect. But man, we've put a lot of effort into this, and we try really hard to make this a great tool, a resource for you, and we'll do the same for you. Bless you. Have a great day. Thank you for watching.